Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on BitChute, the name of my BitChute channel is Comic Freak. Today we have more Backlash from shills and the lamestream media in this article. Star Wars, it's time to accept the real problem is the fans. Of course it is, because it can't be anyone else, right? You can't blame yourselves for the fact that people hate the rise of Skywalker, huh? But let's get into this article. Warning, the following article contains spoilers for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker in theaters now, as if anyone really cares to see that movie. There are many legitimate reasons for not liking the recent Star Wars sequel trilogy. How you feel about a story is a matter of taste. The Star Wars franchise has existed for more than 40 years, and it means different things to different people. Therefore, any new installment is virtually guaranteed to face criticism because it's impossible to please everyone. Where Star Wars fans run into problems, however, is their extreme reactions to the new films. Fans lash out, not because the movies didn't suit their personal tastes, but because they offend their sense of identity. From review bombing to outright hate speech, the negativity swirling around Star Wars isn't coming from objectively bad filmmaking, it's coming from the fans themselves. Of course it is, because you have to blame them, because if you stop and think about it, you'll realize that the filmmakers had no idea what they were doing when they made this film. The majority of Star Wars fans have long agreed the original trilogy is excellent. Since then, there have been prequels, sequels, and spin-offs. While a significant portion of the audience finds common ground in the view that the prequels, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith are disappointing, there are many fans who love them. However, both of those previous trilogies were released at a time before the ubiquity of social media. As a result, most audience backlash to first fanzines and later online forums, frequented primarily by other fans in our modern age. However, everyone is connected and can instantly share their opinions with the world. Yet again, I knew that they were going to disparage the prequel trilogy, because they always do that. They will always try to say that, though, to get the reader to get on their side, because they want to, prop up the Disney trilogy. So don't let them try to bend your ear to that way of thinking. When looking at many of the criticisms of the sequel trilogy, a lot of unrest centers around what a fan thought or hoped would happen. Following the 2015 release of The Force Awakens, fans came together to theorize about a number of the film's unresolved story threads, including Rey's parentage, Snoke's origin, and speculation regarding Rey and Kylo Ren's perceived romance. After 2 years of furious debate, 2017's The Last Jedi revealed Rey's parents were nobodies, unceremoniously killed Snoke, and didn't allow Reylo come to fruition. When the movie didn't go the way they expected, a vocal contingent of fans became angry. They review bombed sites like Rotten Tomatoes, harassed actors and filmmakers, and produced countless videos, essays chronicling the purported sins of The Last Jedi. He doesn't outright say it in his writing here, but he says almost that, killing Snoke was a good thing and that it didn't derail the franchise, forcing J.J. Abrams to bring back Palpatine, or rather he was ordered to by Kathleen Kennedy. The Rise of Skywalker was similarly met with backlash, albeit largely from a different corner of fandom. Those upset that Rey and Kylo's arc didn't culminate in romance, while Ben Solo found redemption, or Ben-dimption, he didn't survive the film. Just like in virtually any fandom, when like-minded Star Wars devotees gather to share theories, likes, and dislikes, it can create an echo chamber in which they find their views reflected back upon them and thus validated. Buoyed by a sense of entitlement, theories can morph into certainties, and when those expectations aren't met, some fans lash out. Although some backlash isn't new to Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed Best recalled that intense criticism of his reviled character from the prequel drove him to contemplate suicide, but it's certainly been magnified by social media actor Kelly Marie Tran, who was driven from Instagram by harassment from fans who disliked her character Rose Tico, introduced in 2017's The Last Jedi. The film's writer and director, Rian Johnson, has famously sparred on Twitter with trolls and even went so far as to delete 20,000 tweets in hopes of depriving them of ammunition. And star Daisy Ridley left social media in 2016 following the release of The Force Awakens and has vowed never to return. The Kelly Marie Tran thing was a complete lie. There is no evidence that anyone bullied her off of Instagram. And the fact that Ryan Johnson deleted 20,000 tweets, that just paints Ryan Johnson in a bad light, because why go to the trouble of just deleting all those tweets unless he wanted to hide something? Heck, before The Force Awakens was even released, actor John Boyega drew racist criticism because his character Finn was a black stormtrooper. Now with the release of The Rise of Skywalker, he's at the center of a social media firestorm for a joke about Finn laying the pipe with Rey following Kylo's death. There is a strong undercurrent of racism and sexism at the heart of these attacks. For some, the original Star Wars movies were about mostly white men doing amazing things. To have women or a black man in lead roles challenges their notions of what Star Wars is. One could argue that those fans are simply voicing their opinion of a character or a screenplay. Their argument is void, however, once a racial slur or sexist comment is uttered. Was Harrison Ford abused for agreeing to be in a movie where his character was killed off and he failed to save his son? Was Luke Skywalker accused of being a Mary Sue when he was able to project himself across the galaxy and fight Kylo Ren? First off, pretty much everything you said is a lie. The racism you speak of, well, that's mostly on Disney's part. I can bring up the fact they removed John Boyega's likeness from their posters for their Chinese releases of The Rise of Skywalker, as well as the earlier movies in the Disney trilogy. And the fact that only now that women and black men are being given starring roles in Star Wars is, well, a complete lie. What about Lando Calrissian? What about Leia Organa? Princess Leia, who led the rebellion in the original Star Wars trilogy. Loving Star Wars is not a bad thing. Being disappointed when the thing you love changes into something else is understandable. It's natural to feel some dissonance when a constant in your life suddenly shifts. At the end of the day, however, fans don't control who is cast in a movie, the story the writer decides to tell, or how we feel about it. The only thing we can control is our actions. Deciding to act in a way that shames someone, threatens someone's safety, or harms them in any way is unacceptable. These space fantasies about aliens and robots and magic didn't force any fan to disrespect others. The fan made that choice. Going back to when you said fans should accept change, that's all fine and good, but when the franchise completely changes to the point where no one can recognize it, well, that's when fans should get angry. And the fact that you say that we fans attack people and basically threaten them and about this fantasy about space wizards, well, some do, but you always try to loop everyone into the same category. So you could be considered the, well, one who is harming others. Since 1977, Star Wars has delighted and inspired countless millions. The saga of that magical galaxy far, far away has touched the hearts of viewers from all walks of life. For a long time, women and people of color didn't get to see themselves as part of that world. Now they can sit in a theater, look up at the screen, and see people like them, being heroes and saving the universe from the kind of single-minded oppressors who may have tried to keep them down in their own lives. If that kind of representation or inability to accept a story choices that weren't yours prevents you from enjoying the movie, Star Wars isn't the problem. Yes, Star Wars isn't the problem. It's the people who insist on putting this kind of politics into Star Wars. If you put people in a movie just because of their sex or skin color, well, what happens if that actor can't act? They're going to give a horrible performance and no one will want to see that movie. But that's a good thing because you won't be able to hammer your agenda politics into their minds. And if movies continue to go down like that, well, eventually you're going to lose your job because your job is basically to make articles on movies and lie to those people who read them. But if no one is going to watch those movies or even read your articles, you'll be out of a job. That's just a net benefit for everyone else who doesn't subscribe to your kind of agenda politics. So keep doing what you're doing. We just won't read about you and eventually you'll go away. I'm only having to read you because this is my job now. But if you go away, I'm sure I can keep making videos about other things as well. If you like this video, though, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. Then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And if you could you also please share this video? Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good. Also, share it on Reddit. because YouTube is not going around promoting their own YouTube creators anymore, and it would really help me if you could please share this video. Also, keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.